week on Casting It Out, we're talking about the audacity of mostly men, but some women.
Honestly, mostly men. Men are to blame.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve it. They have way too much audacity for existing on the same level as women are. I mean, I wouldn't call us equals technically. I would definitely say that, men are below us, but
for the
it's not
energy
their
they're
fault.
putting in, the audacity to say some of the shit they do is ridiculous.
Yeah, like I'm a feminist until you tell me that men are supposed to be equal.
Gosh, I don't know. I'm just like, I was telling you the other day where I heard that thing where someone was like, a great man is an average woman.
A great man is an average woman. Love that. That's very true. I feel like, where it's like there have been so many times in my life where I'm like, well, if my best friend was actually just like a dude, or if I was attracted to women, I mean, like a lot of my problems would have been solved a long time ago.
Right? Would have been a lot easier. I would have been into it.
I would have been here for it.
Yeah.
But here we are. Not that I'm unhappy, but I mean,
no.
Dealing with the craziness of some of these people, I would say, has been quite the ride. I mean, just getting there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of crazy, when they call you crazy, and then you're just mad about what they did, and it's like, am I crazy, or did you just do something awful?
Yeah, it's like my ex. I remember like he like had like a fucking freak out, and then if I freaked out back every single time, he would freak out like 10 times harder and just like scream at me, like shake me, like freak the fuck out. Yeah. And it was like, he'd be like, well, if you hadn't like gotten mad at me and yelled at me, then like, I wouldn't have done that to you. And it's like, you went like 50 times worse than I did. Like, I might have been like, I was a lot more hostile and like hot-headed when I was younger. But I also wasn't nearly as bad as like what I was receiving in return.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, exactly. I've never officially, I have been called crazy. Let's take that back. I just try to repress it. But it's like sometimes when I get called crazy, I just want to take that moment and be like, I could do it if you wanted. Like if we're going to call me crazy, well then at least let me act the part for a little bit, because I'd like to get this out.
Honestly, I mean, I love being kind of crazy sometimes. I mean, it's so funny because it's always like, oh, you're just so crazy. But it's like every single man who ends up with a woman just found the woman with the right kind of crazy that he's into. Because like dudes love the crazy. They try to act like they don't like it, but dudes absolutely love the crazy.
They do.
Exhibit A.
I kind of see that on TikTok sometimes. Like some of the men are just like, I want a woman that needs iced coffee for breakfast and lunch and actually throws a fit later. And I'm like, all right.
I mean, honestly, I'd be a pretty good exhibit A too, as well, from my experiences with Jordan. And like, as we talked about in our online dating episode, I was a little harsh on Jordan when we first started dating. But honestly, it's not about, being crazy. It's just that like, sometimes the reason that you're upset is understandable, and men who don't have the audacity might actually understand that once in a while. But most of them will literally be like, oh, like you're mad because like I didn't text you back for 48 hours even though I just called you my girlfriend the other day.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I am mad.
Oh, you're mad? You didn't get a response right away when I didn't respond for like 3 days? Like, that kills me. I'm like, why are you upset? I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's like they'll be like, oh, the ball's in my court. I guess I'm going to like ignore you for several days. And then they come back and they're like instantly like, why aren't you responding to me? What are you doing? Why can't you talk to me? And you're like, ugh. Yeah. Disgusting.
Like, clearly you're up to no good because you're not responding. I'm like, yeah, I was napping on my couch.
You're like, also, like, why do I need to spring into action if you're literally going to make me wait days and days and days?
I'm sitting on my couch reading the books about men that are absolutely unhinged but treat their woman right. That's where I'm at.
I mean, hey, whatever makes you happy. I'm here for it. Honestly, I feel like that's a really healthy way to get out your your crazy men, because maybe you'll attract less crazies if you read more about the crazies, because you'll be able to spot them easier.
I'll be honest, some of those books have kind of helped me in a way where I'm like, oh, well, this guy's absolutely insane, but he still knows how to treat that woman correctly. How did he manage that and all the other shit he's doing all week? But he still managed to treat the lady right. So I think the books are good for me.
Honestly, I think that's fair, where it's like, even though this doesn't exist in reality, you're like, you know what, this doesn't exist in reality, but you know what, if you can be that much of a disaster but still treat a woman right, I think that a dude can be a normal, average person and treat a woman right and not expect something over the top when they're not doing half the shit that they should be.
Right? Well, that's the other thing. It's like men expect you to go in like with 100%, like on like by the first date, and like give everything you've got to give, but they refuse to give you anything in return until you've earned it, which I'm like, what is that about? What did I earn? You get everything, I got nothing?
And honestly, at this point, it's more like, you're the dude, you want, your special little housewife, you want like all this stuff. It's like, what do you bring to the table that actually make you a viable partner? Or do you just want a mother?
Right? Or when they're like, can you cook? And I'm like, can you build a home with your bare hands? What did you provide? If we're going to go that far back, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, honestly, like, if you have enough money to like build me a house, I'll make you every meal. I'll do everything for you. You want me to clean the house? You want me to do everything for you? Sure.
Yeah. Buy me a brand new washer dryer.
Hell
Perhaps I'll do the laundry.
Also, like, if we've got that much money at this point, I mean, you might as well just hire someone to do all that shit, and then I can live my best life.
Yeah, right?
Why am I going to be a stay-at-home girlfriend when I can be a traveling girlfriend?
Yeah, it's like they want all that old school stuff but aren't willing to do the old school stuff to get it. And I'm like, those men would take women on dates and court them, and yet here you are like, I want all that other stuff, but I don't want to do anything.
I mean, yeah, I also think about the fact that like back in the day, men used to go to like war and shit, and like, yeah, they do now,
right?
But like, it'll be like, I'm the most like tough guy, strong guy, like I'm such a badass, and you're like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe you're not quite that tough. Like,
right.
I feel like the men before you were doing a little bit more. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying those were necessarily good men, but at least they were putting the work in to be able to have the lives that they were looking forward to. Like, they wanted a stay-at-home wife who took care of children. Like, they had to pay for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
they used to go to war. Now you can't even get one to fight for you at all. So it's like, well, now what are we doing? Still going to war, but can't fight for the woman.
True. I mean, honestly, I would not be fighting for a man at this point in my life. I'm just like, if you don't want to be with me, just tell me. As I told Jordan.
They make it difficult.
When we first started dating, I'm like, it's fine. Just tell me that you don't like me.
Right.
Circling back to me being the crazy one. But you know what? If men don't have the audacity, they'll just like swallow their pride and be like, no, I do like you. You just need to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, I do like you. I do want to do this. Like, there are men that will literally go out of their way to say exactly how they feel and articulate it. There's just not enough of them.
I know.
Most of the men out there are like, make me feel special like my mommy did. And then, maybe I'll just like tell you you're pretty once. But then like, if you like look at me the wrong way, I'm going to call you a dumb bitch and I'm going to slap you in the face. Like, that's literally where we're at these days.
Yeah, basically. They make it hard. They make it difficult to like.
They make it so tough where you're just like, I've been honestly, like, I've seen a lot of the dudes that like you've gone out with and like a lot of my friends in recent time. And I even think about like even me before when I was like going on a lot of dates. It's just like, you meet these dudes and they expect for you to just like accept what they're bringing to the table. Like,
yeah, this is me. Okay.
This is me. And it's like, okay, that's not impressive. Like, when I say what do you bring to the table, I don't mean your personality. I mean, your personality is important, but like, what are you doing that makes you like a viable person to like spend my life with? Like, we're not 21 years old anymore.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think of that also was like kind of weird during that like dating phase for me, there was a dude that I had gone to school with. And I had been working at that school after the fact. It had been like 4 years later or so.
Okay.
And, you know, we had like stayed in touch, like friends and stuff, like, you know, shot the shit a little bit. But not that often, not often enough for there to be like more than just like friendly casualties.
Yeah.
And so we go and hang out one day. He's like, oh yeah, like I want to check out like the brewery. And he's like, you know, we're hanging out. It's like going all right. But I'm like kind of getting this weird vibe where I'm like, I thought we were hanging out as friends, but I think he might think this is a date. And I didn't say it was a date. I thought we were just like hanging out. And then all of a sudden he like lays it on me and he's like, thinks he's the most impressive guy in the world when he says it too. He goes, you know, I've always liked you. And knowing that this dude was in a relationship with another woman for several years in between the last time that we were in person hanging out to the next time that we hung out and then said, I've always liked you. And you're like, I don't like that. Like,
No.
I'm not impressed by the fact that you were with another woman and you're going to sit there and look me in the eyes and be like, well, I was with someone else long term that I thought I could have spent my life with, but I haven't stopped thinking about you. I'm like, that's just creepy. Like, how do you have the audacity to sit there and say, I was in a long-term relationship. She didn't matter because now you're sitting in front of me and I need to shoot my shot. And you're like, that's not how you shoot your shot.
It's a terrible way to go about it.
And I mean, I remember telling my coworkers about it because like found out later that dude like went back to the school that I was currently working at. I'm like texting my work mom, I'm texting my work bestie, and I'm like, guys, he like works at the school we work at. I'm freaking out. I'm like, this looks terrible. And they're like, you can't date a student. And I'm like, I'm not dating a student. I didn't know I was going on a date. And they're like, you need to run now. You should share your location with us. Are you in danger? Like,
Yes.
And it was immediately because it was one of those things where it was like all of a sudden it was like, I've always liked you. And I'm like, that's not where I've been, but I guess that's.
How old were you when this happened?
26.
Oh, okay. How old is he?
25, maybe
Okay.
26. We're wicked close in age.
Gotcha.
He was definitely not older than me. I think he was like a year younger, but still, I'm like 25 years old, man. Like, you got to know that it's weird that you spent a couple years with a girl and then looked me in the eyes and said that. And it's like, how dare you also like disregard an entire relationship you had and act like as if it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Where it's like, men all day will be like, oh, you know, now that I have my chance, I'm going to pretend like I've always been in love with you. I've always wanted to, you know, be with you. I've always liked you. And it's like, you dated other people in between like our last hangout, this hangout. I didn't say it was a date. You didn't say it was a date. Apparently it's a date. And you just sit there and you're like, ugh, like why would I ever sit there and say like, you know what? A man who doesn't give a shit about the women he's been with, this would be a good guy to, you know, go on a date with. This is a good guy to like think about a life with. Absolutely fucking not. And it's always like the dudes that you're like, they're like, oh yeah, like let's hang out, like, and you're not thinking anything of it because you're like, it's always the ones that are like quieter, like there's something like where you'd never see it coming,
Right.
where you're like, that dude would never be just trying to like hook up with me, never trying to do whatever. You're like, that dude would never. It's always those, and then all of a sudden they come out of the woodwork and you're like, oh, you wanted to hang out with me because like you're trying to get something, where it's like you're supposed to like be my friend, and like you betrayed my friendship for some like punan, which they didn't get. Like I'm even thinking about like my old roommate, Jordan's old roommate said that my old roommate, who I was friends with for like 10 years, that dude who had that like complete freak out, Jordan's old roommate, who's like one of his best friends, goes, that dude moved to Nashville with the expectation that you were going to be with him. I'm like, well, I've literally never. I've never like hinted at us being in a relationship. We've been friends for 10 years. I've never gone there. And Ryan looks me dead in the eyes and he goes, Josie, that dude was either trying to fuck or be with you. I don't know which one it was. It was probably both. And that's why he hated Boogeyman so much, which is what he calls Jordan.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So it was so funny where I was just like, oh, like, and then I'm like, how dare he like expect me to just be with him and change our entire relationship dynamic because he wanted to move away from California, try a new city. And then like, it's like, oh, I'm going to be mad at you when I don't get my way. I'm going to throw a fit when I don't get my way.
I think the problem in both those scenarios is that at the start, neither one of those men decided to be like, make a definitive decision and say it out loud. Like, hey, this was a date. Or like, hey, here are my intentions. Or this is what I want. It was all sneaky backdoor shit that doesn't, that's I think what pisses me off the most. It's just like, why couldn't you just say how you felt earlier so we're not here in this weird scenario that you've created?
Yeah, like you could have just said like, Josie, you know what? I want to like, I've always had a thing for you. Like, I'd really like to go on a date. Honestly, if I had gotten that from like one of those dudes, well, the one that I had been friends with for like 10 years, no. But maybe the one that was like weird, I would have at least gone on a real date with them.
Right.
I'm not saying that it would have turned into anything because the reality is that it wouldn't have. But like, I would have respected it more if it had just been like, hey, I like you. I would like to take you on a date. But men can't do that. They're more like, oh, like, let's see how it goes.
Right. And they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. And like, I somewhat understand it, but it's like, if you're not going to make that leap, then what's the purpose of this? Then so you're going to just let me give all into this, and then you'll just take, and then it'll be over, and I'll be like, this was awful because you were useless. And I mean, then they're like, well, please take me back. You give them a second chance. They end up blowing that too. Like, that just happened. That date I went on the other, was that even 2 weeks ago?
I don't know, but tell me more.
I don't remember. Well, we did that. We dated for a little bit, and it wasn't working because I didn't feel like his girlfriend. I was just like his buddy at that point. And I told him that.
Oh, the shaker.
Yeah, I told him I didn't feel like I was his girlfriend, like, and I told him that while we were still kind of like seeing each other, like, and then we had one more date, and it still was like, nope, still your buddy. So broke it off, and like a month later comes back and was just like, please give me a second chance. I could be that guy. Like, I can be that for you. I've had all this time to think about it, and I could do all those things that you need and take you on dates and bring you flowers and stuff. Like, in my back of my head, I'm like, okay. But I was like, whatever. I'll give him, like, I rarely ever give a second chance. So I was like, you know what? Fine. I will do it. And I did it. Pizza and beer is what I got. And I learned my lesson the hard way once again. And I refuse to do it. I hate that. They just speak all this bullshit, and then there's zero action behind it. And I was like, don't lie to me. Don't tell me you're going to bring me flowers and then proceed to never do it.
Well, yeah, and we all know what happens to a man who comes back to life, and then you have to put him back in the graveyard.
They stay in the graveyard. I don't usually remove the tombstone till for a while, and then I never removed his, and he got a zombie for coming back.
He got a zombie for coming back.
Zombie emoji for coming back. That's how you know.
We're moving up in the graveyard here.
Yeah.
If you mess it up, you get put in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
If you try and come back again, you get a zombie.
Yes, exactly.
Coming back from the dead. The audacity.
The audacity of coming back from the dead. I didn't put the zombie till after that second chance date, but I did put it there. I was like,
honestly, he deserved it. You knew he was going to be a zombie out of the gate. You knew it.
I wanted to be wrong, I guess.
I get that. Sometimes you're just like, it would be so cool if this dude actually got his shit together.
If he meant it.
Yeah. But instead, he was just like
talking out his fucking ass.
Yeah. And just wanted someone to cry to, right?
Right. Right. And he even told me, he was like, you've hardened since the last time. I was like, yeah, because you don't get that sweet person you had before because it's not free anymore. Like, I can't keep giving that to people and never getting anything back.
Exactly. So. Yeah. They're just like, oh, I want you to give me the world, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to cry and whine about how hard my life is and about how terrible things are. And I'm going to take you to pizza and beer as like a date to show you that I'm a real man.
Yes.
And it's like, pizza and beer, buddy? Like,
is pizza and beer at a place that also children were bowling? I'm so excited for this rehabilitation date. Like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? I hate it.
Wait, is there bitter. Bowling at that pizza place?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's hilarious. I'm not going to lie. It just kind of worse because he took you bowling twice. He took you bowling twice after you said no to bowling.
He asked me on on that second chance date if I wanted to bowl, and I said no.
Absolutely.
I don't.
Quit taking me to bowling.
Yeah, I don't mind a bowling date, but not like the first date. Nobody's talking to anybody. If somebody's bowling, who are they talking to? It just feels silly. Oh, but
Like
whatever.
at that point, you might might as well hang out in a group of friends.
I'd rather hang out. I had somebody to talk to when I'm not bowling.
That's actually like that would be a good one for like a first like maybe double date.
That would be a good group date. Yeah.
Group date. Yeah.
I think that it's a good. I don't think it's a terrible idea, but not a first date.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
so funny.
that's what I get. Second chance, and I'm still like, I hate this.
I mean, that's how it is though. Is like men think that they deserve the world, and yet, you know, they're not going to even give you a piece of theirs.
No, you've got to somehow, in some imaginary world, earn their shit, but you have to give it all up front. Otherwise, you'll never get there. I don't understand that part.
I don't either.
Trust me. Sorry.
Honestly, a situation that I had recently that wasn't necessarily like a dating, but just like something that I have noticed is that like crowds of dudes will just like separate out wicked far, take up a ton of space.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my friend Brittany, we go to dinner one night and we are leaving this place and there's like stairs outside that you have to walk down. And so like I let a group of people pass us and then we're going down the stairs. Mm-hmm. And I'm like all the way on the right. It's like not a super wide stairwell. But there's a group of dudes coming up and I see one dude who is not in line with his friends. And I'm like, I am not going to turn sideways, make myself small. Like, I'm not going to work hard to avoid you when you are in my space, mm-hmm. which I feel like is always the expectation, is that I should make myself smaller. I should get out of a man's way. I always feel like that's always the like attitude there is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I am over getting out of the way for men. I'm over like making myself smaller just because a man decided that he wanted to take up my space. Because if I'm in the right place, you know, to be walking down a stairwell, I expect him to move the fuck over where he belongs. So dude ends up coming up, does not move over, and smashes his shoulder into me. And instead of being like, oh, I'm probably in the wrong, I'm in the middle of a fucking staircase, he goes, Jesus fucking Christ. And then his friend's like giving Brittany dirty looks and she's like, get your dude. Like, yeah, it was so crazy where it was like he was so mad, but I'm like, you were technically in the wrong here. Like, could I have tried to get out of your way? Yes, but a societal norm is that you get to the right when there's people on the stairs. You don't get to own a space just because you think that you have the fucking right to it. I mean, that is a moment where I felt like, why do men have such audacity to think that they own entire spaces? They can just go out and do whatever they want and act like as if people don't matter. Like, that's what always gets me. And let's be real here. This looked like a douchey frat boy, but it's like, you can suck it up. You can take a step to the right and you can get the fuck out of my way because you're the one who is inappropriately walking, not me.
Well, it does give a sense of like, it's shit like that makes women feel like chivalry's dead. Like a normal man would have stepped out of the way, or he would have held the door open, or let you go first and he goes after. You know what I mean? Like, chivalry is completely dead sometimes. And don't get me wrong, there are men out there that are better and don't deserve the kind of hate that we give to them, because this is just like lumping them all together. But it's just like a lot of them just don't have it left. It's just they don't give any of that chivalry.
Yeah, I will say, if you're listening to this and you're a dude and you're deeply offended by what we're saying and you think that it might be you, I think that you should reevaluate like the things that you're doing in life, because I know like the men that I surround myself with aren't doing this shit. They aren't just intentionally, making themselves bigger. They're not, screaming at, their wives and girlfriends and like being absolute pieces of shit and then calling them crazy. Like, the men that I allow in my life at this point in time aren't ones that are going to be trash.
Right. And I think it's terrible that, like, yes, we do lump them all together and it sucks that we do that, but it's just, that's just the majority that really just bring the word men down. It just ruin it for everyone.
Well, yeah, and then it's like over time too, it's like, oh, out of the gate they might be fine, but like I remember with like my ex, like one time we went out to Hooters. Now, fucking Hooters. Like we weren't going somewhere special. I wore like these Nike gym shorts I had and like a t-shirt, and he realized and decided that he thought that what I was wearing was inappropriate. Like I think that maybe he thought my shorts were like too short or whatever. And like this is like back early 20s, like I could wear whatever I wanted back in the day. And not that I couldn't now, but I probably wouldn't wear shorts that short at this point in my life. But, you know, they were cute on me. I was like 21, 22 years old. And, you know, we're going out to eat. It's like a Thursday night or something. Like, it was very casual because we're going, like I said, we're going to Hooters. And he looks at me when we get out of the car, doesn't notice after that 45-minute drive and goes, ugh, like, you're wearing that? Have a little pride in yourself.
Oh,
why didn't you wear something else?
Right.
Yeah, girl. I'm upset too. Thank you for your input, girlfriend.
She does. She agrees.
I think that she was ready to bite that man. Honestly, yep. I would let her. But I'll never forget where it was like, have a little pride in yourself. And I'm like, dude, you're wearing like cargo shorts and a t-shirt. You're not that much different from me right now.
Look at the pride you have.
Yeah, look at the pride that you have. When's the last time you got ready?
Take a look in the mirror, man.
But I'll just never forget it. It's just like, it's interesting how like it can also be like a cumulative over time where all of a sudden you're like, oh, this person has been like great in my life. And then they have the audacity to be like, oh, that's what you're wearing. And you're like, since when do you pick my clothes?
Well, right. Well, it's like another date I went on, which ended poorly. One date. And it felt good. The first date was great. It was nice. Took me somewhere nice. He seemed like a gentleman, all that nonsense. Texting, wants to go on a second date. Sure, he wants to go for a hike. And as a lady, I do not want to go on a hike as a second date. I just met this human. I do not know them.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So I politely said, oh, it's just a second date. I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe as a future date, but just not right now. Can we go to like still somewhere in public? Lost his shit. Told me how I was controlling and that because I didn't want to do what he wanted to fucking do. And now I'm controlling. And I was like, I don't know how, like it got so bad that my brain couldn't even process the idiocracy of the entire thing. That I was like, what is actually happening right now? I was like, why is he pissed? So pissed that I don't want to go for a hike on a second date. And all I'm thinking is like, probably did want to murder me. And this would ruin his day.
You know what? That does kind of sound right. Because honestly, dude's like, come to a secluded place with me for a second date. Like that man was either gonna do bad things to you or he was gonna murder you or both. Like there was going to be like something horrendous that happened if he threw that big of a temper tantrum about you being like, hey, you know what, let's just go on another date in public, it's only the second date. Like the fact that you knew in that moment that you had to do that is like so smart and like so good to know that like you can trust your instincts. Like I feel like that's a really great thing, even though that dude, like, God forbid you have like some semblance of like safety concerns. Yeah. He's like, oh, how dare you feel unsafe with me? You've met me. And it's like, oh, I definitely feel unsafe now.
I explained how like it's like not just me, but like a woman's thing to be not go somewhere secluded and on a second date with somebody you don't know. Like it's, I didn't think I was asking for the fucking moon. I just wanted to not die that day.
Well, I'm glad you didn't go on that date because honestly, that dude would have for sure put you in the ground. Like, I have no doubt in my entire mind. Like, after all those, like, I saw the messages. Like, I know. Like, even when you tell it over and over again, I'm always like, I'm disgusted. Like, I am disgusted that a man had the audacity to treat you this way. Like, how dare he go out of his way to just, like, not have enough respect for you and respect for, like, your boundaries and how you're feeling about, you know, you met the dude, 2 days beforehand, and he's like, do you want to go into the woods with me? No. Controlling bitch.
Right. And it was aggressive, and it was rude, and it was mean. It was scary. Like, and I was like, this right here is why men have a bad name. It's because there's experience, and I'm not the only one. There's experiences just like this that fucking women go through all the time, and it's insane. I'm like, how does this keep happening? Who's teaching these men?
Apparently no one. I feel like they've got to just have someone who just babies them and like never gives them any rules or boundaries and just like gives a boy mom like, oh,
Right.
boys will be boys. And it's like, boys will not be boys unless you want girls to be girls. And I mean,
Yeah.
we all know what happens when girls are girls. I mean,
Just, ugh.
goodbye Earl, right?
Right? I do love that.
I
Goodbye,
mean,
Earl.
you know, you want some witchcraft, you want some like group of girls like hiding a body, like
And
you know, it's just awful that it's like there's just such low standards for like men growing up where it's like have like think about the longevity of it. Like, yeah, when they're like young, it's one thing, but like
They learn then.
as they grow, like you have to teach them what's appropriate and what's not, and people just blow it off because they're like, oh, you know, boys.
Right? Well, it's like I was reading or listening to another podcast or something about the history, and it's just like women used to be praised as like goddesses back in the day, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're killing women because they might be a witch. We're not confident. Like, how did it get from goddess to there? I'm not confident.
I know exactly how it happened. So my 13th grade aunt was hung in the Salem witch trials. And she was hung at 71 years old, which is insane to live in 1692 to 71. But basically everything that I learned about her is that she was mouthy. And men decided that women should be seen and not heard. So they're like, well, we're just going to hang them up. You know, they're basically used their ability to overpower women and, you know, all of that to basically take over and control women rather than letting women just be human beings. Like, there's been so many instances where I feel like a dude wants all of the control of all of the aspects of the relationship, but then like wants you to act like this like happy go lucky, like I am the best girlfriend in the world and I have the best husband, and like I always want to do it with him, he's so hot, oh, I've never looked at another man, like all of that stuff where it's like, you didn't earn that.
No.
Like you didn't earn for me to, you know, sit there and, you know, honestly, I don't even think that you can earn this in my eyes. Like, I remembered like hanging out with like my ex and his friends, and like the women were to like be seen and not heard. Like I've told you before, like we would watch football on Sundays, and if we talked during football, it was like we got grilled for it. And I'm like, football is supposed to be fun and social and like a party basically every Sunday. It's not supposed to be something you sit there and watch quietly. And like these other women would literally sit there and quietly be seen and not heard. And I was not like them, and they did not like me. I mean, I was friends with like one of them, but like still like a lot of it was just like dudes that were like, this is my girl and my girl does what I want. And it's like, I was never that person.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like, but I also feel like it's almost like men being so shitty has almost made women more masculine because they have to take care of themselves and everything. And then now we're also getting shit going on dates because now we feel more masculine, and they're like, you're too masculine, I don't really want to date you. I'm like, you created this storm that I'm in. I had to do all that stuff because you couldn't do it. I had to do it on my own because I couldn't find somebody to do it with. Or I'm not asking men to do everything, but I'd like to be more feminine, but because I have to do everything myself, it's just now I have to put that masculine hat on. I don't want to do it anymore. I've had enough.
I mean, and they have some nerve too to be like, oh, like I want you to be everything under the sun, but I don't want you to be more successful than me, but I also want you to make more money, but I also don't want anyone to know about it. But also I would really love it if like you had something to bring to the table, and like you were a housewife and you made all the money and you did this and you did that. It's like we went full circle from being like, back in the day, it was like, you know, you have your like stay at home like parent or wife, whatever. You took care of like the household, man took care of whatever, the money situation of it. Now it's like, now that we're independent, not only when we're in relationships a lot of the time, which no shade to Jordan. Jordan does actually help out in our relationship a lot. Want to add that caveat that I am very lucky, but a lot of the times in relationships that I've been in, it's like, I want you to make money. I want you to take care of the house. I want you to make me dinner. I want you to be in the best shape of your life. Like, I want you to bear me children. Like, I don't want you to have a choice in whether you leave or not. I don't want you to be able to make your own choices. I want you to be exactly who I want you to be. And if you're not that person, we're getting into a fight and I'm going to ruin your life. Because whatever they want matters, but what we want doesn't.
Yeah. I don't. It's a big problem, and I think that's one of the bigger problems with dating. It's like men want these feminine women, but they just can't get them because they've been doing stuff on their own for so long that they're like, well, if you're not like an addition to my life, like in a good way, then what's the use of you?
Yeah, you're like, I'm my own person. I have my own life. And if you want to be a part of it, you are welcome to join me. But I'm not uprooting everything about myself and everything about my life and everything that I've already built on my own just because you're intimidated by it. Just because you want me to be smaller, just because you want me to be less doesn't mean that I should be. It means that you need to stop being so fucking insecure.
Yeah, I hate that we have to do this episode because I feel like not all men are like this, and I hate to put them all in that group and all in that bubble, but it's just a lot of men have ruined it for a lot of women, and it's almost overwhelming. But I would like to note that there are some good men out there. There are some, and they are doing it right, and I don't want to discourage them from doing what they're doing. They keep doing it. Keep treating the ladies right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that it's just statistically, it's all men. But there's anomalies.
Teach other men what you can do.
Yeah, teach other men how to be good men.
Yep.
Maybe the next generation will come out better.
I don't know.
Well,
yep.
I think that's about it for this episode. What do you think?
I think so.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Casting It Out. Make sure that you follow us on social media. You can watch our episode on YouTube, or you can listen to it anywhere you get podcasts.